Wow. That was intense. And it got intense all of a sudden. Welcome to the Poindexter Lounge Pantheon Sci-Fi Center Live House of the Dragon post show. Woo! A moment of silence for Vaymond Valerian because he is no longer with us. This is a full spoiler review of House of the Dragon episode 8. There are only two more episodes left, and although this episode was not overly violent, there was some violence there. There was definitely some violence there. Oh, wow. Still absorbing it. Daemon Targaryen, like I said, I know all these people are pieces of shit, and it's really hard to find someone to root for in all of this. But wow, he makes it hard to root against him. I'll say that. He had his moments. Whew, hey, what's going on, Thade?
Hey, what's up?
I'm going to. Oh, by the way, yeah, we're back in less than 4 hours. How you guys doing? Um, I'm trusting that you just finished watching episode 8 as I did.
hmm
All right, so this episode starts out with news that Lord Corlys Valerian has been mortally wounded and that he may not survive. This throws into issue who will succeed him, as most of the realm believes, fairly or unfairly, that the heirs to the throne through Rhaenyra, Princess Rhaenyra, and Laenor were illegitimate bastards. So his brother, Vaemond Valerian, makes a petition. Uh, he first petitions Rhaenyra, his wife, Lord Corlys' wife, and once she basically tells him to go fuck himself, he says, "Well, I'm going to go. I'm going to go to King's Landing. Things have changed. I'm pretty sure I can get some support there for my claim." So he files a petition, and the family basically comes, Rhaenyra's side comes to from Dragonstone to King's Landing, and they're all meeting, and they're going to have this, what's basically a hearing. And piece of crap Otto Hightower is going to rule over it. And the claim is basically that these aren't Valyrian blood. This is about blood, and, legacy and all this, and I don't want Daemon, technically right, doesn't want his family line to end because it's not his blood. But once again, what you know and what you can prove and what you have the power to push is fatally they're all different. So just as Rhaenyra, who's speaking on behalf of her son, is about to make her claim and calling it a farce and everything else, one of the coolest moments, not the coolest moment, one of the coolest moments of the whole series and this whole episode was seeing King Viserys basically drag himself up to that throne with the help of his brother and the help of his guards to basically settle the issue, because otherwise Otto the Pimp was going to um, you knew what he was going to rule in favor of. I mean, it was a no brainer. So him coming in, but that wasn't the coolest part. That's not where it ended.
yeah.
Uh, Lord Vaemond, or not even Lord Vaemond, Vaemond doesn't realize he's lost and that he should just pack up and go. Once, yeah, once Rhaenyra announces, because she had made an offer prior to that, she would marry off her children to Rhaenys' grandchildren and thus continue the line. And Rhaenys, the older silver-haired one for those that keeping up, didn't indicate that she was going to accept that offer until she did in court. And once that happened, it was ended. King Viserys issued the matter closed. But Vaemond, just
Bang.
Vaemond,
Oh, buddy. Come on.
he goes off on this tangent, just telling Viserys that he's not going to take his word for it, and that you can run your house, but you're not going to run mine. And he basically says, these children, your children are bastards. And I think I might have heard Damon basically prod him on to say the next thing. And then he says, and that means you are a whore. And Viserys struggles out and grabs his dagger and says, I'll have your tongue for it. Tongue for that. Out of fucking nowhere.
Damon with the assist.
Damon takes this fool's head off from the tongue up, so that all that is left of his head is his tongue, and says afterwards he can keep his tongue. I was watching this with a group of people because we do our we do our group watch every week, and we were all Game of Throners, so we become desensitized to sudden deaths and stuff. But holy cow, that one, once he started talking all that madness, I knew, okay, you're about to die, and I know who's gonna kill you, but I didn't know it was gonna happen like that. I thought Damon was gonna pull out a sword. They were gonna have a sword fight, just like that kid when he stabbed that one guy for insulting his honor. And I thought that was gonna be the way it ended.
Nope.
It just came out of nowhere and just whacked him like that. That was a mob hit, is what that was. That was beautiful.
That was a mob hit in front of everyone.
And then they just go on. Let's just go on. Let's go have dinner. Let's go have dinner.
And did you notice that Rhaenys, like when she went to go watch him while they're preparing his body, she smiled. Corlys's wife smiled as he's laying there being dissected.
She basically insulted him, or he insulted her at the beginning. They start off the show with him basically treating her like trash.
Yeah.
It's like even when their granddaughter's like, hey, my grandmother's doing a fine job right now. It's like, yeah, only in the absence of her husband. Another slap in the face of women saying you guys are secondhand citizens as she sits on the throne. And but yeah, I'm like, this guy's gonna get it. I don't know how he's gonna get it, but then I didn't even get a chance to finish my thought. I didn't even get a chance to finish my wow. Where's Damon to? I thought what I was going to see is like a sword come from behind him, or Damon said, you know what, forget that, brother. I'll take care of it. I mean, something like that. Fuck that. They skipped all that. They just said, he just cut him clean. I mean, it was hilarious. And the way his attitude is like, Damon's like nothing. It's just nothing to him. It's nothing to him to kill these people. I mean, he'll drink and laugh right after it. I mean, hold on. I'm hearing that my sound might be kind of muffled. Let me make sure that I got the right microphone because I think the cam microphone. Because that drives me crazy. All right, now it's the condenser. How do I sound? Chat, how do I sound?
You sound fine.
All right, cool. I just want to make sure because remember that last time I went by the camera mic and that pissed me off. I can't watch that show again because I did that. But Damon takes care of issues. Then these badass kids, once again, they want to make sure that you hate the Hightower line. I mean, completely. Even though Alicent not as much this time.
No, Alicent. I was saying this to Stella earlier. I think that Alicent was trying to be genuine.
Yeah, and I think that Rhaenyra was trying to be, but those kids are just. And then what's his face, the future king there, Aegon, the other, Aegon the Elder. By the way, now that you know that there's another Aegon there, how you will tell them apart is you'll just call one is Aegon the Elder, one is Aegon the Younger. All right, Aegon the Elder is a piece of garbage. I mean, raping people, and then he's like, I don't care, and then he's, then he just he goes up to somebody who's just been betrothed as somebody's bride and says that to him, got his ass whipped right there. And then I love the way his wife, sister, basically says he mostly ignores you unless he's drunk. And nobody can say anything to her. Then he goes and dances with her. But yeah, they are clearly telling you that both sides are trash, but one side is much trashier than the other. So let me go ahead and say hi to finally, finally the king died. I mean, he's been dying for their entire lives. But they said 16 years? The dude's probably going to live. He lived into his 50s, according to the books, right?
Yeah.
But none of these cats are probably going to make it to that old. So
no.
He was a miserable son of a bitch. He lived a much longer life than they're ever going to. Because, like I said, now, episode 9, I'm going to kill this fucking fly. Got him. Episode 9 of any season of Game of Thrones is the turning point episode. It's Battle of the Bastards. It's been where Ned Stark lost his head. Those type of things happen usually in episode 9, if I can recall correctly. So episode 9, this episode, I don't know where to put it as far as quality goes, but I can't like I said, once Vamon's head or half of his head left his body, I was like, what? What was I watching? But yeah, the whole crowd that I was with was like, oh shit. We all like gasped, oh shit.
My exact thought was, well, that just happened.
I stood up. I was sitting eating a burger. And everybody else is like, because like I said, we are desensitized because we've been watching Game of Thrones. This is our overall 9th season total of Game of Thrones, so we've seen it all.
Yeah.
Something about that moment made me go like, oh fuck, and I was laughing like. And Damon's look at he just did it calmly. He just did it calmly, and then he just goes about when they did the cheer, when you could already sense the hatred between Damon and Aemon. You can see that they're eye to eye.
God, yes.
Wow, did you see that look he gave him when there that fight at the end? And when Damon once Damon, the same thing with that night when he stepped in and stopped the Knight from interceding in a couple episodes ago. All right, or that last episode, Kristen. And when Damon steps in between, the shit stops. You notice that? When he steps in there, whatever you're thinking about doing, that shit stops. And he has that presence about him. And I guess everybody in the room just realized Damon just took a guy's head off. Do we really want to fuck with Damon right now? Because Aemon was about to continue some shit, and Damon just stood there and like, that will continue between them.
Yeah.
That will continue between them. But the difference, you could tell who the stronger individual is because Aemon can't control his impulses. He's smooth, but he's dumb.
I was reading something about that.
What's up?
I was reading something about that the other day, and it was somebody's opinion of Aemon and Damon and their whole rivalry, which started pretty much in this episode. Aemon wants to prove himself by going after Damon.
Wrong target, dude.
Yeah.
Pick another. When are these people going to learn? Pick another target. This one has got body. Dude, what's his body count so far? Shit. I think Damon has killed more people in this episode than anybody. I'm like, and he just doesn't. It's like he doesn't have an on button. He has no compassion. He just did it. Then he goes, eats and drinks it. Then he kills his wife. Then he told her her cousin, like, hey, you know what? Yeah, so yeah, she's dead. I'll be by to get her stuff. You just accused me of murdering her. And then he just kills him, and like does it. The tone in his voice stays the same as he does it. One swoop, damn, it's done, it's over with. Everybody else is like, oh, and then they're like, disarm him. He's like, no need. I love that scene. I might watch that scene over and over again. But yeah, it was a beautiful scene. I mean, like I said, there you go. All 3Ds in literally one swing of the sword. It gave me everything I needed. All right, let me go visit the lounge here. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, that needs to be like the motto of the whole show. More so motto this time around, but because like I said, down with their kids too. The true ones that are not bastards are like worst. The other ones that are, they're just minding their business. I feel bad for Lucerys and Jason and Joffrey. They're just minding their own bit. They didn't choose the situation that they were born into. They haven't started any of this stuff. It's her badass kids. Allison's bad, and they're heathens. That's really the only word. I mean, Aegon is a heathen. He's just raping people, and I'm just gonna rape you and let you go. Oh, it's not so big deal. I don't know why she made a fuss. Because you raped her. I mean, and then his mother's like, I mean, the first time since she was a kid that I felt sorry for Allison because I'm like, but it's your fault. You and Otto set these fools up, and this is how they're going to be, and they're going to be entitled. And now they think that they have a right to the throne. Jesus. I mean, so yeah, when they were all having dinner with the king, I was like, in this crap. Yeah. I thought somebody was going to die at the dinner. I thought that's where the violence was going to happen. But once Vaemon started talking, I'm like, oh wow, we're only halfway through the episode and you're about to die. And it ain't gonna be Viserys. As soon as Viserys went for his knife, I'm like, okay, it's not gonna be him. I know who this is gonna be. And even though you know something's coming and you can feel it coming, the way it came was like, wow. I mean, like I said, I didn't have any real reason to hate Vaemon, but we cheered his death, and people I was with was like, "Oh shit!"
People losing their heads and shit. Like,
I mean, it was like, wow. But hey, Damon, how you doing? Yeah, but so yeah, the king finally died, so he's done. So now when you see the opening of the next episode, to where the blood flows to all the living people, and if it covers them up completely, that means they're dead. So when the blood flows to King Viserys the first, you'll see the blood overcome his single. That's his single. So all
yep.
right, let's see who's still. Please remember to like. Yeah, like this stream. We've been at it all weekend, man. We've been pulling a full shift all weekend. Like and support the stream. Oh my goodness, yeah. Allison's sons are spoiled brats, and the daughter's okay. And unfortunately, it's like I said, she's gonna go through some issues.
Yeah, she's okay, but she's still like daft though. Like, she's got them dragon dreams, so she's got issues.
She's got issues, and she's just too innocent because she's never gonna inherit the throne, so they don't veer them. They don't direct her to be the pieces of crap that all the heirs are supposed to be. You know, this episode, like I said, I mean, the goals of this episode were to end one cycle. I mean, obviously now we're done with Viserys, and they aged those guys up perfectly so that you see what they're going to be. This should be one of the last aged up if there's any more, because this is where the Dance of the Dragons begins, and they're of age now. They're of the age where they all start this war. The Dance of the Dragons, the first Targaryen Civil War would begin next episode. And that's where we will end this first season, is with them at full scale war. And you saw it if you watched the previews. You saw it, because what ends up happening is Viserys dying, and she's gone back to Dragonstone. They're going to try to pull a fast one and name him as the heir, and name Aegon the Elder as the heir, and that begins the war because it's treason.
Well, that's because so like Alicent misunderstood what Viserys was saying there at the end.
Yeah.
Because she says in that preview, she says Viserys named Aegon king.
Yeah, because of the two Aegons and all that, and because she was never there for the prophecy, because her ass didn't belong there, because she wasn't the heir, and neither her rotten piece of shit kids. So, yeah. But now she's going to basically use that as their decree, to say, yeah, he named her. But you know what? That was the problem is he never. There was a whole ceremony to where the rest of the houses swore their fealty and their oath to her. Remember that? And that is going to stand much stronger. Technically, that is law, because she doesn't have the right to speak on behalf. If the hand had been there, it would have been different. If Otto had been there, it'd have been different. But her, and used drugs. There was no way. So yeah.
And can we talk about the disrespect when Daemon and Rhaenyra got there? Like, nobody welcomed them. Like, that's disrespect,
and
man.
They wanted you to. It was disrespectful, and all that septum stuff that was around. That's who put that in. That stuff that we see later on in Game of Thrones, the 7-pointed star and all that religious stuff. That's who put all that in. So yeah, they should have been received, and but that's Otto. That's Otto, and then Daemon was calling her out on it, calling both out on it, and I'm like, yeah, what kind of orders does he give you? You can barely say his own name, So yeah, Daemon was cool. Daemon was definitely the MVP of this episode for sure, in more ways than one. He was her rock, and now I know. Now you understand what she was saying when she was like, I need you at my side, because she's gone into a pit of vipers, and she knew what he brings her, what he brought her. He what an ally he is. Like I said, when he steps into the room, you have a bunch of emotions about him, but none of them are fuck with him. You may hate him, you may not trust him, you may not respect him, but don't fuck with him. And big bad Aemond over there, who's taking on Christian Cole and wanting to challenge his much smaller nephews, and you know, let's fight. Didn't say shit when Daemon stepped in there. Nothing. They stared each other down, gave you a precursor because they're gonna have a rivalry. And like I always say, without spoiling anything, what have I always said? The smarter side's gonna win this. And you know who I think the smaller side is. So I don't know why certain people are hating on Daemon character off social media. Matt Smith is, oh my goodness, Matt Smith is clearly, and wait till you get done with watching what Aemon does. Um, he will do his fair share by the time this is over too, and the hatred will be for him. And once again, these people that are playing the actor, I've only seen him obviously in this episode here, because this is the first time this actor has played this character. Is his first full episode. Perfectly cast. I mean,
the only problem I have with it is he's the second son, and the guy that's playing Aegon looks younger than Aemond.
Well, he's shorter, and because Aemon is historically Aemon is historically tall. If I think if you read the books, he's one of the tallest characters in the whole story.
Mm.
Because the high towers are that they come from tall, but he's one of them. He's supposed to be considerably tall, and he's supposed to look like the classic Targaryen, which is what Daemon looks like. So
yeah,
but yeah, I see on social media they're hating Daemon. Listen, let's list the reason why you could hate Daemon. Murdered his wife, banging his niece, just whoring himself. I mean, just doing a bunch of stuff. But you know what? Up against Aemon hasn't killed anybody yet, and I already hate him. So I think after tonight, I think Daemon Targaryen will creep down on the hate list. I think the highest he'll be is 3. But I'm sorry, those 2 clown sons of hers. Right now, Aegon's number 1. Aemon is number 2. Otto's number 3. So we're not even at 4 yet with Daemon. Alicent is up there. Kristen, but okay, shit. Daemon's not even in the top 5 as far as hate deserve goes. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know either why the internet is hating on him. You can't hate him tonight. You gotta respect this game. All right, Dale Taylor, Allison's son told her he didn't ask to be this way. Yeah, he really, and that comes back to it being her fault. It's Ern Hotto's. Remember when he was a kid, when he said, "Okay, I won't challenge for the throne." The throne didn't mean anything. He was just a kid, but they reared him and corrupted him and basically set him up for all of this. So now she realizes what she's unleashed, and now it's about to be unleashed on the kingdom, because there's only a certain amount. Once he is named king, once he tries to usurp the throne, obviously I'm not spoiling anything because that's what literally the death. Just like I wasn't spoiling anything about Viserys dying. Come on, we know what this is about. We know that he is. We know that he's going to try to take the throne. Once he takes what is the narrow version of the throne, Otto works for him, and his mother is he's the king now. So it's kind of like when Joffrey and Cersei, when once they put that crown in his head, he has all the power. He has power over all of them, and he does some really stupid things. And he's not, as you can clearly tell, because they're letting you know right now that of all the characters in here that's going to do damage, Aegon Targaryen is not fit. All right, he's not fit to do anything. He has no, neither him or Aemon have the composure to calculate and play the chess game that is going to be needed to play. You got those two saying and doing stupid shit, and then you have Daemon over here just calmly fucking with people, laughing when he wants to laugh, killing when he wants to kill. not his blood pressure doesn't go up once. And you got them, and they're provoked, and they try to provoke people, and it's like these guys are going to have the reins of power. And just by seeing how you could like in the original Game of Thrones, you could already tell Joffrey was going to be a disaster from when the first moment you saw him. But the first moment you see Aegon, you know he's going to be a disaster because of the fact that he's a drunk. He's whoring himself out, and he's putting the kingdom at risk because if he's in line for the throne, she made her drink. He made that servant drink that tea, Diana, drink the tea because she was worried about a bastard kid. So he's a knucklehead. So like I said, and then like I said, Aemond is cool looking. That one eye, the long silver hair, and he's looks like Errol Flynn, but he can't control himself. He couldn't resist fucking with his cousins and nephews. He couldn't resist. It would have been smarter strategically for him to just get up and walk away and let the night end. He just couldn't resist the whole Storm thing. And once again, the other side is calculating, and like I said, it's but a lot of that thought had to be gathered because of the fact that I'm still getting over fucking Daemon's head just getting sliced off like that. That was wonderful. I mean, as soon as this is over, I'm watching that scene over and over again, man. This is some blue blood and honey level stuff. That was yeah. So yeah, I don't know why people hate him. I don't. I love Daemon Targaryen. Yeah, I mean, it was just, it was a good overall show. It was a good overall show. It was a good side. It took you on that emotional roller coaster. We put Viserys out of his misery. My goodness, his face. Oh. But it was, knowing his condition, it was still cool to see him take that throne and defend his daughter that way and settle that issue. That was one of the coolest moments of the whole, thing that didn't when they bust open the door and it said King Viserys first of his name, King of the Anna, and then all this bill, and he gets up there and he's like, no, I don't want anybody to help me. And then finally, he reached, he's about to fall again, and Daemon helps him, and he looks and I don't need it, and he looks and sees it as Daemon. After all that they've been through, after what they've said to each other and how they've treated each other, no matter what you want to say about Daemon and him, they still love each other as brothers. They're still brothers, and it's still, if somebody were to come after Viserys and would have tried to kill him, Daemon would have been there. Daemon, you see?
Oh yeah, Daemon. And Daemon would have been on that. Daemon would have been on that.
And conversely, Viserys always protected them, even though this was all everything that they've been through. Those final moments approaching that throne, they were still brothers, and I thought that was cool. And that whole episode was mainly about family. I mean, dysfunctional family, murderous family, family. It's like Fast and Furious.
You also have to remember, Daemon, this was all supposed to be Daemon's. This was like this throne that everybody's fighting over was supposed to be Daemon's.
Yeah, it's like, I'm your heir. I remember that. Second son killed the second son. Yep. Yep. He's looking at me. Trust me, Daemon is not done. Daemon is
no.
Daemon has a lot to do.
Daemon's going to be murking fools for most of this war.
Yeah, like I said, yeah, and he gets one in particular that I think for the people who have not read the books, you think you cheered tonight when he fucking took that guy's skull apart? Wait till he gets that one. But we got a long time before we get to that. The look on Otto's face was, oh no, when the king got on the throne. Yeah, he's like, and when he said, I'll sit on the throne today, Otto's like, okay. I can't stand on him. Like I said, there's no one person that is responsible for more death in this show and all the death that will happen in the show than Otto Hightower. There's no one person. Everything that's been set into motion, the existence of those badass kids are because he pimped his daughter out. All right, and then he was going to rule on that Iron Throne in Vaemon's favor. And by the way, where the hell is Corlys? We're giving this guy shit away. We don't even know if he's dead or not.
Right?
Your brother, the dude, Raymond just basically got whacked for some shit that he was never going to have. He may never have it to begin with. And what
Well,
do we
they
know
even
when
said
it
that.
comes
They even say
to
that. They're
yeah?
like, "Look, Corliss isn't even dead yet. Why are we here?"
I'm like, dude, you went and did all that madness. Why don't you just wait until like I'm certain he's dead? I've seen the fever take take out my men half his age. I'm like, fool. We had all this going on, and like all it was succession. So I don't know, but like I said, Damon solved the succession issue. I think we know who's next in line. But I love if you watch the post show when the guy who plays Damon was like, you know what, you notice he had to take me from behind. He was joking it off. He's like, clearly those kids ain't hers. they're not black and they don't have white hair. And I'm like, he took it in stride. But yeah, it was a very delightful episode. Hi Michelle, how you doing? Oh
And
man,
Michelle.
yeah, you can definitely see the love of Viserys and Damon. Yeah, it's just everything else was alliances, and yeah, he is right to if for all this time he thought, hey, I'm going to be the heir since we can't have any kids, and he didn't handle it right, but he's also things about Damon. We've already seen him be heroic. We've already seen him fight, win a war and basically be a kick-ass character. Aemon just looks like him, but he does not have the heroism yet because he's just born into such a shitty situation that all her kids are pretty much
Well,
ruined. Even the
and
daughter.
the thing between Damon and Viserys is, it's like the same kind of connection I have with my brothers. We don't exactly get along, and one of them really don't get along. But like, if anybody else stands against my brother, hey, that's my brother to torture. Like, don't don't
Exactly.
don't touch my brother. We're
We're
good,
doing
Michelle. We're good.
we're doing okay. How you doing? Yeah, this episode was like I said, it's a family show. Believe it or not, with even all this death, doom, and destruction, it is still a family show. And the difference between their family and other families that have fight is the stakes are much higher because we're talking about kingdoms. We're talking about riches and legacy. Whereas if me and my sibling were to fight over something like that, it's not really ain't that big. We're not ruling shit. But when it's royalty, it's important because you're talking about bloodlines and everything else, and then it complicates things when you have illegitimate kids involved. But here's the thing: those illegitimate kids wouldn't be there if you didn't force her to marry a gay guy who was never going to fulfill the marriage. He basically he couldn't. He just didn't want to. So they forced her into the situation, and what was she going to do? If she didn't have an heir, it would have thrown it back to them anyway. They would have had to name another heir. She would have had to name another heir, and we would have started the war anyway. I mean, the only thing that you could take out of the entire situation that would have avoided the war altogether, aside from Viserys' indecision, is Otto Hightower's machinations.
Yeah.
Because if he just goes with his initial wish and doesn't have any kids and doesn't want to remarry after Emma died, um, then it just happens. Or what Viserys should have done is he should have let Daemon marry her instead of marrying Valerian. I know that would have caused some shit, and they could have fixed it down the line. But then there's no bastards. You know what I mean? There's no So there was a lot. There was a lot. Okay, so Michelle says I've been surprised. I recently got a mic in our studio, and when I asked you guys, you might have me on the panel. No, no, no. Get with me on Wednesday. Not Wednesday. Get with me on. I'm gonna post a link. We haven't done that in a while where I'm going to have people come on because, like I said, it's all words on the screen now. But that show is pretty casual. We'll have you on this Saturday, and I'll post the link in the chat and I'll go in order. We go 3 hours, so instead of me talking for 3 hours, we can talk to each other for 3 hours in person. All right, let's keep it on a family show. Yeah, brothers marrying sisters, uncles marrying nieces, cousins marrying each other. All those genes just staying in the same house, creating crazy deformed kids. And
Yeah,
yeah,
I love how, like, earlier in the show, like earlier in the episodes, you had Alicent with her attitude of you Targaryens and your weird customs, and now here she's got her son and her daughter married to each other.
And I really like. And there's another subtle character in there that just doesn't get enough credit because she's not a flashy character, and that's her niece. Eve Bess is great. Her voice is great.
I
Her
love her because I thought in that one scene where Rhaenyra and her are out in the Gods Grove, and she's like, Rhaenyra makes the offer to her, and she's like, "Yeah, whatever. I have to stand alone." And then when they're standing there in the room with the petition, she's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go with Rhaenyra." You know?
yeah, and that was basically a slap, and then you saw Bateman lose his shit. It's like, what, what? You can't do this to me. I'm like, okay, how many more seconds do you have left of life on the screen, son? And like I
At
said, that's
Vaymond, I
classic stuff.
couldn't. I could not believe Vaymond with it. Just he kept going. He kept running his. He just kept bumping his gums, dude.
Like I said, when I was like, he's like, you're a whore, and I'm like, okay, the sword's gonna come through his throat, or it's gonna, an arrow, or somebody's gonna get him, or maybe Bernice. Then I'm like, wait a minute, no, it's got to be Daemon. Daemon's gonna get him because Daemon would have had the rights to do it before anyone else. First of all, the king, pretty much by pulling his dagger, Viserys pretty much sentenced him to death. If Viserys could have got up, he would have done it himself. So
Yeah,
Daemon's like, fuck it. As far as I'm seeing, as far as I'm concerned, the king is giving an order. Remember, he had already given the order that if anybody had said that, they
yeah,
that you're going to lose your tongue or worse. So Daemon is a prince. And he just insulted the heir to the empire and his
yeah.
wife. So Daemon
And
had every right to fucking. I'm like, and he didn't do it as a raging. You don't dare you talk to my wife like that. I'll have your head. No, he just took his head. He just fucking took his head.
like I said, Damon just murking people, man.
I'm like, we need to do a little graphic. I need to see if I can get my sister to make a graphic of the people, Damon's body count. We got 2 episodes left. And Damon's body count is who knows how many people he killed in the step zones, either by hand or by fire.
Yeah.
He killed the one dude, the one when they burnt the body. He killed that guy.
Yep.
He's killed his wife. I mean, he's up there. I gotta do an analysis of the season to see just how many people Daemon has killed, because it's gonna get worse. I told you guys from the beginning, the one side does not fucking care. They don't care. And you saw that right there. There's no better example of a side that's ready. You remember where Otto was like, I wasn't sure if you had it in you to fight this ugly fight. I'm like, I still don't think you do. I don't think she has the stomach for it. And Otto, I think you're too stupid. You think you're smarter than the room, but Daemon's got him pegged. For the foreseeable future, Daemon will outmaneuver Otto Hightower. He will outmaneuver all of them. All right, so it is. So yeah.
Okay, so I want to throw in my hat in the ring with Team Damon, because yeah.
Yeah, Team Daemon definitely. Hey, we need to get shirts. I mean, there are probably already shirts out there. I mean, but shit, you can't give it up with people who are dying.
We gotta. I'm gonna start wearing a black T-shirt in these videos.
Yeah, he turned into Canadian. Yeah, seeing the tongue there, the fact that he just said, "I'll have your tongue," and the fact that that was all that was remained in the neck of his body, I'm like, oh wow, my goodness. All right, Michelle Ed Williams will be proud of me. I was actually on a panel a few days ago with a youth preacher on YouTube who started talking about how he was Halloween, and you both know I am Wiccan and pagan. And when I was on the panel, I said, yeah, you know what? That that is what we need more of, Michelle. And that's what I try to set our situation up to be, is to where we can have discussions and we don't have to hate each other after it's over. We don't have to hate people while they're on the screen. We don't have to do hate streams about people that we disagreed with on another stream. We can get on the screen, we can have a conversation, and you know what? We can move on. That's the decorum that I am going to try to keep for as long as I'm doing this. And no matter how big it grows, we're not going to add stress and anger to YouTube, especially like in our situation where we're talking entirely about imaginary shit that doesn't exist. Don't be getting mad over mermaids and dragons and monitors and you know, half goat people and superheroes and stuff like that. Repeat to yourself every time you think you're going to get angry about any of these things, how silly you look and sound when you're driving your blood pressure up from some aliens from another planet, for fire breathing lizards that don't exist, for half mermen or merwomen. Come on, it's, relax, have some fun. So yeah, I think like I said, I am going to do the rewatch, and I'll watch my other my YouTube community that I do watch, and they break things down to the molecule. In fact, they're already on it, and there's going to be memes tomorrow morning about Damon. I don't know how much they're going to be able to show because that was pretty graphic. But yeah, the next episode looks like episode 9 is when the shit hits the fan. There's going to be some more dying. The only, that's pretty much it. The only thing I don't like on the panels, the youth pastor was trying to talk to me like I was a child, stupid. And whatever you guys are talking about, no matter what it is, you never want to. If you were going to have someone on the panel, don't engage them in a way that makes it that they're not on the panel with you. You gave them a spot on your panel, so you gave them that platform. If you don't have enough respect to have somebody on your, if you not have them on your show and treat them as if you put them in the same size square as you do, just don't have them on your show. You know what? Don't have them on your panel. If all you're going to do is belittle somebody when you bring them on to belittle, don't do that. Just keep them in the chat if you're going to do that, or do the blocking thing. But if I send you a link, or if you come onto a show that I'm running, we're going to have an equal conversation. All right. Otherwise, I'm just not going to bring you on because it doesn't make any sense for me to do that. I'm not. Yeah. So yeah, that's sad that happened. Let's say. Yeah, for fictional characters. So why give it? Yeah, I don't know why, man. I don't know why. People still hating on the name and origin change. I haven't been keeping up on that. Right now, I got Black Adam in the front of my mind, but I still think Black Panther is going to be one of the best movies of the year, possibly an Academy Award nominated. And I don't know if it'll win, but yeah, the whole Tolkien thing. I mean, the whole because he's not of Atlantis. I understand why they did it. Aquaman is already, under very similar circumstances, even though Neymar came first, I think. So they wanted to brand it, and it really, in my opinion, it doesn't hurt Neymar. I think Neymar looks absolutely kick ass. By the way, he's not a mutant.
He's a mutant.
Not a mutant.
He's a mutant. Yes, mutant.
He looks great with all of his headgear and all that stuff that he's got, and the little, the flying of the wings that shouldn't be able to support his entire body and balance the way they do. But that's cool.
Dude. Angels shouldn't be able to support his body on his wings either. They should be huge to fly that man.
And he's much more dense than a normal human. But yeah, not a mutant. But yeah, he looks great. His origins I don't have. Like I said, the only problem I have with his origin started back in 1990 when they just wanted to cash grab and say, hey, I want you to buy my book. Can you? I see you're buying Uncanny X-Men and Jim Lee's. Hey, why don't you buy my book too? Let me. Oh, you want me to put a? Okay, he's a mutant now. Now will you buy it? Oh my goodness, it was so blatantly lame. It was so lame.
You're gonna fight me on that for the rest of eternity, aren't you?
The only thing that they didn't do is just call him Neymar and the X-Men. I mean, that would have been the next step. If the book actually did well for a while until Byrne left it. That's the only reason why it didn't do well. But he had already had a good run on She-Hulk, so people were waiting. They wanted to buy his stuff that he was working on. He was doing good stuff. They didn't need to do that, but they were like, we want all our books to sell, and let's put a mutant in there. Wait, we need Wolverine to guest star in there. Even though he do it in books he didn't fit, and a lot of it came from the Mutant Massacre success because they were able to cross over mutants. And that's where the height of the X-Men really took off. But because you had Thor interacting with X-Factor, you had Wolverine interacting with Daredevil, and they're like, wow, this is great. Mutants are making these, let's do it. But then they went overboard. And then they're like, Neymar. And then, like I said, their half-ass explanation of it was so hilarious. You guys look at it now because it's been so accepted for 30-some-odd years. But when they introduced it to, like I said, 16-year-old me spit the soda out through his nose for the pure level of bullshit that was being presented to us. And I'm like, okay.
16-year-old me didn't care. Namor. See, the
I
thing
was gonna
about it
buy the
is,
book anyway. That's the I didn't. I was gonna buy the book anyway, but at the time I'm like, you think I'm dumb? You think you needed to con me into buying a John Byrne book, one of the all-time greats of any company, both Marvel or DC, a legend like him who's already off of a hot book and still working on one of the hottest books out, which She-Hulk was at the time. You think you needed to con me to buy this book? I mean, you think that you're going to be like, wow, I wasn't going to buy that Legends book. He's a mutant now. I'm like, get out of here with that. I'm like, that's hilarious. But like I said, it was just more funny than anything. But yeah, no, Namor origin change. They only did that. And listen, a lot of people, the general public that will be seeing the Black Panther, will be seeing Namor for the first time. So they, even though us hardcore guys are like, wow, that's not the way they did in the book. The majority of the people who are going to see this movie will have never read a comic book before, and as far as they know, Neymar's origin starts in front of their eyes. So they know where they have the room to do that. So let's see. All right. All right. I mean, I think I'm ready to go watch the second episode again, at least certain scenes of it. One particular scene. We only got 2 episodes left. Man, I do not know what I'm going to do without this show. I'm going to begin being lost watching lesser quality shows because I won't have House of the Dragon for what. I hope we get
I
it.
hope it's not a year. I hope it's not a year.
I can take a year, 2 years, and stuff like that. That drives me crazy. Like, dude, Stranger Things. I mean, shit. Oh man, you're gonna leave me with that ending, and I gotta wait 2 years. They're gonna be they're gonna be in their 30s, literally. Some of them are in their late 20s already. So, but like I said, if it weren't a quality show, I wouldn't want it back that quickly. But this is a quality show. They've done a great job with this show. I mean, in every aspect, the writing is great. The acting is great. The casting is great. The scenery is great. The cinematography is great. I can't say when it comes Emmy time, this they should just back up a truck and just start loading the Emmys into the show. I don't see any show right now that is on the level of House of the Dragon. I don't see any level of show that's like being talked about on the level of House of the Dragon. So
What's interesting is I just looked at a meme a second ago that said Patty Constantine a year from now, and he's got an Emmy sitting in front of him.
oh yeah. Hey, you know what? Matt Smith has to win one. They got to give one to Matt Smith. Matt Smith definitely gets one out of all the whole show. As at the point we are at now, Matt Smith definitely has to get an Emmy for top, and it has to get an Emmy for best show. I mean, I haven't seen another show on there, that has been on this level and this engaging, and that includes a guy like me who knows everything that's going to happen or everything that is supposed to happen. Remember, they have the luxury of changing whatever the hell they want to, but as far as like having a decent idea of what happens, I know the source material, and I'm impressed.
Well, hey, to be honest, Vayman's death was kind of different than it was in the book.
Yeah, yeah, and Cordless didn't suffer such certain things. They've already changed it a lot. Y'all bitching 3 years waiting for Empire to return. Jedi grumble. Hey, you know what? 3 years is what. Hey, dude, who wants to grow old waiting for this shit? I want to be able to, engage with excitement. I don't want to be like 90 waiting for this stuff.
Dude, you realize we're going to be 4 billion years old by the time the MCU is over, right?
Once we say we'll be in our 60s, literally. Oh yeah, okay, so here we go. All right, I think I've covered all the bases. I think I have given the Poindexter Pantheon, Poindexter Lounge, as much time as I can give them over the last few days. Thank you guys for tuning in, not only just this show, but our overnight Odyssey or morning Odyssey last night, this morning, and the Sci-Fi Center Live on Friday. It has been fun. We will start it all over again. Who knows? I got to get with Enosh on this. You may see me pop up on a weeknight, late night, if I got the energy to do it. Just if I have something to talk about, it's really hard that 1, 2 o'clock in the morning we be like, hey, not everybody's online, but sending out that call, you guys arrive and we'll talk. Max just did a stream for 24 hours. He's out of his mind, but I ain't doing that. But all right, guys, hit the like button. Head over to sci-fi center.com and join all my social media, not just my YouTube page, but I got a TikTok page, I got a Facebook page, I Instagram. You get to meet, you get to see pictures of a lot of people that are watching it with us. We handed out our magnets tonight. Hold on, let me show you the magnets. I thought these were cool. Here.
While William's getting his magnets, I'll also say I'm over at Twitter under Roman Giannetti. If you guys want to look me up on Twitter,
No
hush up, you.
there you go.
Targaryen buttons.
Yeah, let me put it on something level here.
But yeah, you guys can catch me over on Twitter at Roman Giannetti. Also, here with William 3 days a week, maybe more. That is an awesome button, dude.
Yeah, we handed these out to everybody who showed up tonight. You know what? We might do some giveaways towards the end of the season where we give away stuff to the listeners and our viewers and stuff like that. But I know I have I'm going to give away my throne at the end of the season because I don't want to be hauling that bad boy back up here. It has served its purpose. I haven't tried the barbecue sauce. It's still here. I don't know what quite to put on because I don't barbecue. I mean, I microwave. Can I put it on the stuff I microwave?
Get some chicken tenders and use the barbecue with the chicken tenders.
Roll up to McDonald's and be like, no, sauces, no, I'm covered.
There you go.
I'm waiting for the right meal. I don't want to waste it. It's like fine wine. All right, guys. That's it. That is it. That is it again today. So we will see you guys on the other side.